Trading silver for gold. I keep getting this question, so I might as well do a video about this, folks. Again, whatever you hear in this video is not financial advice, so don't hold me to what I'm going to tell you today. Please like, share, and subscribe. The likes really help the channel, folks. It was a big help yesterday on the video. Let's keep giving the thumbs up if you can. I don't give you tap it with your nose. Help me out with that. Thank you very much. And I apologize for getting a late video out today. I'm going to try to get another one out later this evening. I'll let you know what's going on today. So first of all, trading silver, trading gold for silver. I'm getting this question a lot from you folks, from our customers. I'm going to be honest with you. What we do at the shop is we buy back the gold. We literally hand the cash over the counter and they pick what they want for silver. It normally comes right around 92 to 95 ounces depending on what type of silver they want. This is going to be plain blunt. That's how it's done at our shop. We pay out for the gold. Of course, we're paying over spot for gold. We're paying the spot over silver. With that being said, that's where your ratio really falls into line. And I think most shops do it that way. And I had a customer that called me yesterday. I'm going to get into that in a moment. But first, I want to go over the silver to gold ratios. So let's go to silver gold ratios real quick. In 1939, the ratio was 98 to 1. And then, we leveled off, of course. Then we had another high of 2020. And that was 125 to 1. I put 2025, but I apologize. But in 2020, it was actually 125 to 1. That was during the COVID event. We are sitting at, right now, 101.41 approximately. Is it a good trade? This is what I'm going to say to that. Me, I've said it before, I don't own gold. So, there's that. I own some gold backs, but that's besides the point. Is it a good trade? I'm still going to leave that up to you. Okay? For one. Would I do it if I own gold? That's another question I get asked. Again, I don't own gold. So, with that being said, listen to Andy Sheckman last night. He thinks it's a good time to do it. Here's what I'm fearful of, okay? Just follow me for a moment here. What happens when we get back to the 125 to 1? Just think about that. You could add a little bit more silver. Yeah, could have, would have, should have type of deal, right? Me personally, you bought gold for a reason. You bought silver for a reason. Why take the hit on exchanging either way? That is what I see right now. So I'm going to let you guys make your own decision on that once again. I purposely don't like the trade right now. I just don't like it. Now, if it's a type of silver that you don't have, maybe I would say, to you, yeah, go ahead and do it. So let me break down this woman's, what she has. And this is what she told me. All right, she works in a retail store. It's one of the retail stores I'll say is having financial troubles. I'll leave it as that. She likes to spend a lot of money. She makes good money, okay? She makes very, very good money. She's a manager for this company. What she spends a lot of money on herself, meaning going out to eat, clothing herself, fancy pocketbooks, purses, whatever you want to call the handbags, high-end clothes. Okay, she claims she spends about $3,000 to $4,000 a month on that. This woman makes good money, okay? I'll just leave it as that. So what she told me what she had. She has a half a Bitcoin. She bought it when it was $685 for half a Bitcoin. You guys know me in Bitcoin. I don't get along with Bitcoin. So the value right now, as of last night when she told me this, was about 20,000. She's plus $20,000 in her Bitcoin. So she has about 40,000. She has about 40,000 in Bitcoin right now. She has 200 Amazon stocks. Value of last night was $174.33, so she's about almost $35,000 in Amazon stocks. She has 10 ounces of gold. As of last night, that value was worth about $33,428 just in spot gold, folks. Just going with spot gold here. She has about 800 ounces of silver. At the time, the silver was worth about $26,024. She's got 15 grand in the bank. She's not has no CDs, nothing. She's got $15 parked in the savings account, drawing very little interest. I mean, minimal interest. She has added all up. She has about $130,068, roughly. She asked me last night. She says, Chris, should I trade silver for gold? Okay, this is what I'm telling her. I says, well, I don't give financial advice. We can't give financial advice. I says, here are my two concerns. I says, my two concerns is you got the $15,000 in the bank that's not drawing no interest whatsoever. Why isn't it in at least a 3-month, 6-month CD? At least you can draw 4% at least. Maybe a little bit less. Maybe she's going to do a year. My other concern was not so much about the Bitcoin that she had. It was the Amazon stock. It kind of trades like a tech stock, Amazon stock. That was my other concern, but she's still up all right where she bought it from. So I says, look, I says, I think most of your problem is, to me, for this is me telling her, I said, I think most of your problem is you're buying too much high-end clothes. You're getting a car every 2 years, she told me as well. She changes her cell phone every year. Then I asked about her cable bill. Well, she says, well, I got everything underneath the sun. HBO, Cinemax, blah, the whole 9 yards. I just rolled my eyes at that one. I said, well, we could cut down the cable bill. I says, your assets are okay. I said, but you like to wine and dine yourself and clothe yourself very, very well. And I says, that probably should be cut out. I said, before you even think about trading silver for gold, I says, because what I'm seeing here on, I says, what I'm writing down on the paper, even though you don't have any 90% silver, I says, what is your daily budget? I said, what's your weekly budget at the grocery store? I said, she said, well, I don't buy a lot of food because I go out to eat a lot. That's her problem right there. I said, do you have any food put away, any long-term food, any canned goods? Well, she's very, very little. I said, okay. So I kind of explained the situation, how I do things. I said, well, I'm not as I said to her, I'm not a financial advisor for one. And she says, I understand that. I said, I just want your opinion what I'm doing wrong. I says, I think you're spending too much money on yourself. You don't have any food put away. You don't have any canned goods at home. You're going out to eat too much. I says, another problem I see, I says, what happens if the dollar collapses, your store, I said, let's say your store shuts down. What are you going to do? She said, well, I've really not thought about that. So that kind of put I says, okay, I says, you eat at home at all? And she says, well, yes. Sometimes she says, I'll go in and spend like $25 at the store. I said, okay. I said, take 2 silver half dollars. I said, that's about $25 right there. And she's like, what do you mean? So I told her what the spot price, the melt price was. It was a little less than $25. That came exactly what it was last night. But at the end of the conversation, she says, so what should I do with my $15,000 in bank. I said, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I says, I think you're okay on gold. You're pretty heavy on silver. I said, I don't really, I said, as much as I don't like Bitcoin, I said, I don't have a problem with someone like her having Bitcoin or even the Amazon stocks. But I said, the Amazon stocks can get you really in bad shape if Amazon stocks start really falling down. I says, I'm more worried about you losing your job, and what we're going to do, sell your Bitcoin, sell your Amazon stock, because that would be the first to go, I would say, and hold on to your silver and gold. But again, folks, you see what I'm saying? I'm not a financial advisor. Her numbers look good, but she spends way too much. And she's giving me this permission without saying her name on the channel to go through this one. And I want your guys' feedback on this. You know, she kind of wants your feedback on this. What should she be doing? And she's not going to take anybody's as financial advice. But, you know, it's hard because, you know, again, I'm not qualified for financial advice. So with that being said, I'll end it there. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below on this. Because, I mean, I like her position in gold. I like her position in silver a lot. She's got some cash in the bank that she's not making anything on, so she's okay there. But it's her other spending habits that she could have had a lot more gold and a lot more silver, in my personal opinion. Please check out channel sponsor Pinbacks.com for all your silver, gold, and platinum leans. Let me know that Coin Shop Chris sent you. Thank you, Pinbacks, for sponsoring Coin Shop Chris. You folks know most of the time they have the lowest prices. You want to pay more at another online bowling company? Be my guest. Why? Why pay more? Why not shop at Pinbacks where you spend less cash and get more money for your medals? Again, let me know that Coin Shop Chris sent you. I apologize I was late getting my first video out today. I'm going to try to get another video out today, but we had a problem at home and our washing machine went on the fritz. And what I believe it was is the sensor or the gadget, whatever you want to call this thing, for the hot water is not pumping. And I'm looking at it, so I took it out and I ordered another one on Amazon, and it will come in tomorrow, and I'll see if I can't not fix that for my grandmother for an $11 part. Hopefully it's not the cold water one, because it has 3 of these for the cold water one, and it's kind of a pain in the butt to remove the hose here. And we will see. I mean, normally the hot water one would go first anyways. I think it's a plug. That's all it is. So whatever you want to call these things, someone will help me out in the comments section what this thing is really called, because I really don't know, and I really don't care, to be honest with you. I just think this is what it is, according to somebody on YouTube I watch. The sensor, whatever you want to call the gosh darn thing. So that is why I'm late getting my first video out today. I was trying to deal with that, seeing what the problem was, and that's what it seems to be, my guess, because it was the way it was showing on the washing machine. It was just going around in the circles, not showing us any numbers at all. But the cold water seemed to be working, but we will see. So if it's not that, I'll keep you guys updated with that. So that is my reasoning for me being late today for my first video being out. Coin Shop is doing quite well today. People still buying silver. There's nobody today had questions about trading silver, trading gold for silver today. Folks, I would really love to help people answer that question. But you know, you got to remember, I'm not, you know, I got to play even care with that, because, you know, I like what Andy Sheckman said last night on Liberty and Finance. He thinks it's, from his words, he thinks it's a good trade right now. So if you want to go with his saying it's a good trade, go with him. I mean, I'm not going to say it either which way. Me personally, and I've talked to other customers who own both silver and gold, and the view that some customers have, well, you bought silver for a reason, you bought goal for a reason. You made your bed, lay in it, see what happens, and not pay the, sell fee, buy fees, whatever. And, and it's really if you're changing your lifestyle too. Are you planning to buy a house? Are you planning to buy a car? How often do you spend $3,400? If the answer is not a lot, maybe then it would not be a bad trade right now. But keep in mind that ratio can tick back up to 125. Are we going to get back to the 125, folks? Like I said, it's it's a crapshoot at this game. That's what it is. I hope that this information was more useful for you folks today. As you can see, I'm in a different location. I'm inside the house today. The neighbors having the deck work on. They're making too much noise, so I had to come inside to make the video today for you. Hopefully this afternoon's video or later this evening's video will be back in my normal location, back on the sunscreen. Thank you all for watching. Coin Shop Chris is out. Hopefully we'll catch you later. If not, we will see you in the morning.